Winnipeg state ਦੀ
फोटो खींच लो
मैं मूवी बनाना मैं फोटो भी खींच देना
You are now entering the
मेरे से कर देखी नहीं विंडो का
फोटो भी बना लिया करो चलो मनु
Let's take a picture. I'm not the nice.
No, why am I so tall compared to short people?
Oh my god. Isn't it?
Me, I'll be able to go.
But did you want to
And it'll be like
ouch. I got the thing. Did you get the Winnipeg mint?
you just get it. The man. Can we do something that
Who's he?
Why? You are just a real little that hole comes out. Watch out.
Hey!
Really sharp.
Oh, I'm gonna see somebody.
Here. Can you see?
Yeah. I can't see the 150. I'm
Yeah,
seeing
look
the
at
200. I'm seeing the 200.
Wait, is it 200? How do you want me to do it? Look, did he follow me? Follow me. ਸਟੋਰੀਆਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਬਣਾਉਂਦੀ ਥੋੜੀ ਥੋੜੀ ਆਉਂਦੀਆਂ ਕਿਹਨੇ ਬੰਨੇ
So that's your hand like that.
ਥੱਲੇ ਦੇ ਪੋਈਏ ਨਿਕਲ ਆਉਂਦੇ
Huh?
ਸਕੇਟ ਉਹ ਇੱਥੇ skateboarding
We get
ਨਹੀਂ 132 ਵਾਲਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੋ
That's our HDD lock.
nothing to eat.
ਪੜ ਮਾਰ ਮੈਂ ਤੇਰੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੇਰੇ ਨੂੰ ਸਾਲ ਆ ਗਿਆ
And what does that do?
What?
So you sleep on your own.
Which one do you want?
And one strawberry.
Seatbelts are securely fastened, and any baggage you may have pulled out during the flight is safely restowed. This is also a good time to turn off any laptops or CD players if you did turn those on during the flight. In a moment, the flight attendants will be coming through the cabin to pick up any unwanted service items such as garbage, newspaper, recycle, blankets, anything of that sort. If you want to pass it on to the middle aisle, we will take that off your hands, no problem. Just remember here at WestJet we do recycle, so if you could separate your garbage from your recycle for us, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thank you very much, and on behalf of all of us, an early welcome to Toronto. Essayons de boucler votre ceinture, de redresser votre siège et votre tablette en position verticale pour s'assurer que vos bagages à main sont bien rangés. Les agents de bord passeront bientôt dans la cabine pour récupérer les couvertures et débarrasser les plateaux.
ਉਤਰਨਾ ਤੇ ਚੜ੍ਹਨੇ ਔਖਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਜਹਾਜ਼ ਦਾ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਐਕਸੀਡੈਂਟ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਹੁੰਦੇ।
ਚੱਲ ਬੰਦ ਕਰ ਲਓ ਬਾਈ।
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Toronto, where the local...
ਐਨੀ ਮੂੰਹ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਵਾਲਾ ਐਨੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਨਹੀਂ ਠੀਕ ਕਰ ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਸਾਡੀ
I don't want me by the fence. Just me.
ਇੱਥੇ ਬੱਸ ਕਦ ਲਈ ਤੇ ਸਟਾਪ ਕਦ ਲਈ
I'm gonna do a picture of me.
ਉਹ ਦੇਖੋ ਬਾਹਰ ਖੜੀ ਕਾਰ
Mommy, I'm gonna do a picture of me with the fence.
ਫੈਂਸ ਦੀ ਕਿਹੜੀ ਗੱਡੀ ਗੱਲ ਦੀਦੀ ਦੀ ਬਣਾ ਲੈਣਗੇ ਪੰਜ ਬ੍ਰਦਰਸ ਦੇ ਸਿਸਟਰਸ ਨੇ ਆ ਜਾ ਆਪਾਂ ਉਹਨੇ ਲਾਈਨ 'ਚ ਲੱਗੀ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਵਾਂਗੂ ਸਮਾਨ ਦੇ ਰੱਖਿਆ ਰੁਪੀ ਨੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਜਾ ਇੱਧਰ ਦੀ ਆ ਕੇ ਦੇਖ ਲਓ ਸਾਈਡ
ਅੰਦਰ ਤਾਂ ਲੋਕੀ ਪਾ ਦੇਣੇ ਗੰਦ
ਉੱਤੇ ਕੀ ਹੈ
Take a picture of me, Daddy. Take a picture of me.
ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਹੋਈਆਂ ਲਈਆਂ ਵੀ ਫੋਟੋ ਲੈਂਦਾ ਸੀ ਹਨਾ ਮੁੰਡੇ ਦੇ ਟੋਪੀਆਂ ਤਾਂ ਹੀ ਹੋਈਆਂ ਲਈ ਫਿਰ ਤੇ
100 ਸਾਲ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ ਆਪਣੇ ਹੁਣ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਕਿਡਨੀ ਕੁੜਨੀਆਂ ਆਈਆਂ ਜੀ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ 100 ਸਾਲ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਵਾਲੀਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ
ਕਰ ਲਓ
ਉਹੀ ਘਰ ਕਰਨਾ ਉੱਥੋਂ ਕਰਕੇ
ਨਹੀਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਵੀ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ
Living room, so it's like a family room would be. Over there you have a more formal parlor for entertaining guests.
ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੁਣ ਦੇ ਬਣ ਲਿਆ
ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਉਹਦੀ ਮਾਂ ਵਾਸ਼ਰੂਮ ਸੀ ਉਹਦੇ ਕਰਕੇ
Wait back here, Mackenzie. Wait back here with Dale.
ਕੁੱਤਾ ਨਲਕਾ ਆਪਣੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਇਹਨੂੰ
ਨਲਕਾ ਆਦੇ ਤਾਂ ਨਲਕਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਆਪਣੇ ਬੈੱਡ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਦੇਖੇਂਗੇ ਤੂੰ
But it is inside the house.
ਇਨਸਾਈਡ ਦਾ ਹਾਊਸ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ
I thought it was outside.
ਉਹ ਬਹੁਤ
Wind me up. Hey, look, it's winding me up.
ਇਸ ਸਟੋਵਰ ਕੀ ਲਿਖਿਆ
ਟੋਰ
No, 7-minute show in here.
7 ਮਿੰਟ
Disney's coming for a 7-minute show.
New Year's night of 1885, Henry met a young lady named Clara Bryant. The two quickly fell in love, and in 1888 became husband and wife. After 5 years of marriage, on November 6, 1893, the couple celebrated the birth of their only child, Edsel. Throughout their relationship, Clara always shared her husband's convictions and believed in his dreams. She was a companion, a supporter, an assistant, and even his advisor. Henry Ford, however, simply called Clara the believer. Without her support, her encouragement, and her dedication, one can only imagine what would have happened to Henry Ford and his dreams. Like many inventors, Henry was forced to pursue his creations at night, long after his normal workday had ended. His daylight hours were spent as the chief engineer at the Detroit Edison Illuminating Company. It was during this time that Henry was able to invent his first gasoline-powered vehicle, which he called the quadricycle. This simple automobile ran well enough, and Henry was able to learn a great deal from it. He knew, however, that this was just the beginning. Only 6 months after taking it for its first ride, Henry Ford sold his first automobile. In August of 1896, Henry Ford had the opportunity to meet Thomas A. Edison, perhaps the greatest inventor of his or of anyone's time. During this meeting, Henry excitedly told Edison of his ideas about a gasoline-powered automobile. Much to Henry's surprise, Thomas Edison was interested and enthusiastic. "Young man, that's the thing. You have it. Keep at it." That simple statement would remain with Henry Ford through all of the long nights and through all of the early failures and disappointments. He had received validation from his greatest hero. Nothing in the world now could stand in the way of Henry Ford and his dream. Just a few years after meeting Edison, Henry would leave his engineering job to pursue his own path in life. He would develop his first commercial automobile and help found the Detroit Automobile Company, a company that would close its doors within a year. He then founded the Henry Ford Company, a company that Henry would leave in just a few short months. His third attempt, however, was the Ford Motor Company. It would go on to become the largest family-operated business the world had ever seen. It would produce a universal car, affordable for the masses, and it would change the way the world would function forever. Henry Ford was born on a simple farm in Michigan. He was an ordinary boy who was encouraged to pursue his own interests and follow his own heart. Oh, he had failures and disappointments, but he also had a dream that he believed in. Today we discuss Henry Ford as a man who changed the world. He's been called a genius. But his success and contributions are also the result of his hard work and his belief in himself. Regardless of the setbacks, the disappointments, and the early failures, Henry Ford persevered and never lost sight of his dream. If you can learn anything from the life of Henry Ford, it is just that. To find a dream and chase it with all your heart. Just like Henry Ford, if you have that kind of genius, you too might just change the world.
ਨਹੀਂ ਆਹ ਪਕਾਏ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀਗੇ।
ਮੰਮੀ ਲਾਈਕ ਕਰਦੇ ਰੋੜਾ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਪੈ ਰਿਹਾ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਵਰਗਾ ਕਰ ਦਿੰਦਾ ਆਏ ਤੂੰ ਉਹ ਬਾਹਰ ਕਰ
the Columbus Buggy Works. Their meeting changed the course of the 20th century.
Well, it was actually all of us who helped create the changes. The work of Mr. Avery and his associates redirected my...
The assembly line redirect your life.
Automatic tires have gone on his line. Tin Lizzie carried the entire American tire business. Other on the scholarship and leadership
ਜਿਹੜੀ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਚੱਕ ਕੇ ਰੁਪੀ
ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੀ ਬਿਮਾਰੀਆਂ ਲਾਉਂਗੇ
Across the street to right.
The striped cap number 3. I think the striped somebody likes the hat.
Maybe 15 up to 50.
Oh, okay, not as expensive as I thought it would be. There you go. You guys look good at hats. I miss that style. They're beautiful. Thank you. Get this purple. See over here. Supi side te ਕਰਕੇ ਆਈ ਟੋਪੀ ਟੋਪੀ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਉਹ ਮੂਰੇ ਨੂੰ ਇਧਰ ਨੂੰ ਸਾਈਡ ਨੂੰ ਕਰ ਹੋਰ ਕਰ yeah where did you take the picture
right and Ford's workers dismantled this building. They labeled every brick, numbers on them, so like a big jigsaw puzzle, it was all put back together. He purchased the family home, which was about 4 blocks away. That's it right there now, and that was taken apart. Every board had a number put on it, and it's back the way it was. On top of the same soil. Mr. Ford would often, after he bought a building, would have the dirt dug up also. So this is all Dayton soil around us here. Can't you tell the difference when you see? He knew, can you hear today?
That's the original piece.
wired together. Well, then again, they didn't win 300 pounds, but I left.
ਰਾਈਟ
ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਇਸੇ ਘਰ ਚ ਗਰੂ ਅਪ ਹੋਏ ਸੀ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਹੁਣ ਤੂੰ ਆਪਣੇ ਘਰ ਚ ਗਰੂ ਅਪ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ ਫੋਟੋ ਖਿੱਚ ਕੇ ਮੇਰੇ
Right. Yeah, they didn't have him from there yet.
ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕੁਛ ਅੰਦਰੋਂ ਤਾਂ ਦੇਣਾ ਨਹੀਂ
ਚੱਲ ਰਹਿਣ ਦੇ ਫਿਰ ਲੋਕ ਇਹ ਰਾਈਟ ਬ੍ਰਦਰ ਦਾ ਘਰ ਆ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਪਲੇਨ ਬਣਾਇਆ ਸੀ
This is the home of the Wright family. Did you visit the Wright cycle shop?
Yes, we did.
Cycle shop. And you learned about the exciting thing. And he was chiefly responsible.
ਕੈਪਟ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਗੁੱਡ ਰੱਖਿਆ ਹਮੇ
So we do know that this is how this is done.
ਰਾਈਟ ਬ੍ਰਦਰ ਹੁਣ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਦੱਸਦੀ ਫੋਟੋ ਖਿੱਚ ਦੋ ਇਹ ਸਾਰੀ ਹਿਸਟਰੀ ਹੋਈ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਹੈਨਾ
ਉਹਦੀ ਬੇਸਬਾਲ ਟੀਮ ਸੀ
ਉੱਥੇ ਨੇ ਕੈਚਅਪ ਬਣਾਇਆ ਸੀ ਕੈਚਅਪ ਕਰਨਾ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਹੁਣ ਦੇ ਘਰ ਬਣਾਈਆਂ ਸੀ ਇਹ ਕੈਚਅਪ
ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਬਣਾਇਆ
ਇੰਡੀਆ ਰੈਲਿਸ਼
ਕਾਰਨ ਕੀ ਬਣਾਊਗਾ
ਕੈਂਬਲਸ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ
ਜਸਵਿੰਦਰ ਹੈ
ਕੈਂਬਲ
ਕੈਂਬਲ ਸੂਪ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਫੋਟੋ ਖਿੱਚ ਲਓ ਆ ਦੇ ਟੋਮੇਟੋ ਆ ਸੀ
ਟਮਾਟੋ ਸੈਪ ਵੀ ਹੈ
ਸੂਪ
Look, you can do that. Take a picture of that.
I don't know if they do. ਕਿੰਨੀ ਇਹ ਜੇ ਬੇਨ ਕਿਸਮ ਦੀਆਂ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਬਣਾਈਆਂ ਉਹਨੇ
Dad's gonna take a picture.
I don't want to park. I'm looking at that there. For a child, whatever. Yeah, I don't want. Excuse me.
I have to check out this.
Original
ਇਹਦੇ
है?
ਨਾਲ ਫੋਟੋ ਖਿੱਚ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਤੇ ਆਹ ਖਿੱਚਣੇ ਨੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਖੜਾ ਕੇ
फोटो खींच लो रुपए खड़ जा
ਮੇਰੀ ਵੀ ਖਿੱਚ ਦੇ ਕੇ
ले मैं खींच लेंगी थोड़ी दस दो मिनट
ਬਣਾ ਦੇ ਫੋਟੋ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਈ ਖਿੱਚਦੇ ਮੂਵੀ
मुरे हो जाओ रुक इधर हो जा माने जी
ਫਿਰ ਕੋਈ ਚੀਜ਼ ਫਿਰਦੇ ਨੂੰ ਵਾਪਸ ਆਣਾ
I haven't done that.
वाशिंगटन ओ गांव भी है रुको
Why we're one race something you can
रुपी
That's the original stove and safe from the store. The safe actually used letters for the combination on the dial instead of numbers. I don't know, I've never seen it open.
They use what instead of numbers?
It has letters on the dial instead of numbers. Rock out. Rock out.
ਕਾਰਾਂ ਫਿਰਦੀਆਂ ਫੂਡ ਦੀਆਂ ਤਿੰਨ ਓਕੇ ਫਿਰ ਦੇਣਗੇ
मुंह लुक रहा है ਉਹਦੇ ਟੋਪੀ ਨਾਲ ਇਹਦੀ ਵੀ ਟੋਪੀ ਲਾ ਦੇ 2 ਮਿੰਟ
ਮੇਰੀ ਫੋਟੋ ਖਿੱਚਣੀ
ਆਪਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੋਣੇ ਮੈਂ ਰੂਪੀ ਨੂੰ ਕਿਹਾ ਸਾਡੀ ਖਿੱਚਦੇ ਦੋਨਾਂ ਦੀ
ਉਹ ਬੜਾ ਘੈਂਟ ਜਿਹਾ ਕੰਮ
See, we need a whole day.
ਇਹ 1847 ਚ ਹੋਇਆ ਹੈ ਨਾ 1863 ਉਹ 1947 ਉਹ 1947 ਚ ਮੌਤ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ
Genius
1847
is 1% inspiration and 91% perspiration.
Somebody goes outside.
ਮੈਂ ਥੋੜੀ ਗੋਦੀ ਚ ਬੈਠ
ਪਤਾ ਕਰਨੀ ਵੀ ਜਵਾਰ ਤੋਂ ਨਿਆਣੀ ਬਣ ਗਈ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ
ਕੰਨ ਦੂਜੀ ਪਾਸੇ ਬਿਠਾ ਲਓ ਲੱਕੜਨ ਇੱਥੇ ਬਹਿ ਜਾ
ਥਾਮਸ ਅਲਵਾ ਐਡੀਸਨ ਜਿਹਨੇ 1400 ਕਾਰਡ ਕੱਢੀ ਆ
ਓਕੇ
ਕਾਰਡ ਮਸ਼ੀਨ ਬਿਜਲੀ ਦਾ ਬਲਬ
ਨਾਲ ਕਮੈਂਟਰੀ ਚੱਲਦੀ ਹੈ
ਹਾਂਜੀ
Here's my glasses, man. Come by accident. They came by work, hard work. See? And we Paramatma di duga.
Never gonna buy.
What are we gonna? Caracas tem que é California.
Hi, bud.
What was the fuel they used to heat the boiler?
They were using coal and wood. They only had a 75 horsepower unit. And it was running at about PSI.
ਇਹ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੇ ਬਣਾਇਆ ਸੀ ਬਲਬ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੇ ਬਲਬ ਬਣਾਇਆ ਉਹਦੀ ਫਿਊਜ਼ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਸੀ ਫਿਰ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ ਕੀ ਕਰਨਾ ਮੁੜ ਕੇ ਉਹਨੇ ਵਿੱਚ 에ਅਰ ਟਾਈਟ ਕੀਤਾ ਆਹੋ
ਨਹੀਂ ਮੇਰਾ
Machines that made machines.
ਫਿਰ ਉਹਨੇ ਬਿਜਲੀਆਂ ਲਾ ਕੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਘਰਾਂ 'ਚ ਦੀਆਂ ਬਿਜਲੀ ਲੱਗ ਜਾਂਦੀਆਂ
ਆਪਣੇ ਪਿੰਡਾਂ 'ਚ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਬਿਜਲੀਆਂ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਨਹੀਂ
ਬਲਬ ਐਡੀਸਨ ਦੇ ਬਲਬ ਬਣਾਇਆ ਓਰੀਜਨਲ ਬਲਬ ਐਡੀਸਨ ਦਾ ਬਲਬ
ਫੋਰਮੈਨ ਕਿਹੜੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀ Topi. Let me try your topi.
Thomas, I was saying for my lab. Hello there. Sorry about that.
ਉੱਥੇ ਵੀ ਇੰਨੀ ਸਮਾਨ ਨੂੰ ਇਕੱਠਾ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੋਇਆ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਵੇਚਣ ਨੂੰ ਆਏ ਗੈਸ ਦਾ ਤੇ ਕੰਮ ਸੀਗੇ ਕਾਫੀ ਕੰਮ ਹੈ ਹਨਾ ਇਹ ਜਿਹਾ ਸਮਾਨ ਵੀ ਉੱਥੇ ਵੀ ਪਤਾਸੇ
ਉਹ ਹੀ ਜਾਗਦੇ ਨੇ ਬਾਹਰ
ਪਤਾਸੇ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਪਤਾਸੇ ਥੋੜੀ ਹੋਏ ਟੇਡੇ ਬਦਲਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਹਰੇ ਤੱਕ ਇੱਥੇ ਚੱਲੀ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ ਕੋਲਾ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਕੋਲਾ ਉਹਦੀ ਦੇਖ ਇੱਧਰ ਫੋਟੋ ਮਿਲੇਗੀ ਕੀ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕੰਪੇਅਰ ਕਰਦਾ ਸੀ ਫੋਟੋ ਮੈਜਰ ਕਰਨ ਨੂੰ ਤੇ ਅਮਾਉਂਟ
ਉਹ ਟ੍ਰੇਨ 'ਚ ਵੀ ਐਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਐਕਸਪੈਰੀਮੈਂਟ ਕਿ ਅੱਗ ਲੱਗ ਗਈ
ਦੇਖੋ ਵੀ ਨਾ ਕਿੰਨੇ ਮੈਜਰ ਕਰਦਾ ਤੇ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਵੀ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਕੰਪੇਅਰ ਕਰਦਾ ਸੀ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਫਿਰ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਲਾਈਟ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ ਬਲਬ ਨੂੰ
ਬਾਹਰ ਬਣਾਉਣਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਔਖਾ ਸੀ ਆਦੇ ਗਲਵਾਈਨੋਮੀਟਰ ਸੀ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਬਿਜਲੀ ਮੇਜਰ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਬਣਾਇਆ ਨੇ ਬਿਜਲੀ ਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਮੇਜਰ ਕਰਨਾ ਬਿਜਲੀ ਵੀ ਉਹਨੇ ਬਣਾਈ ਸੀ ਇਹ ਡੀਸੀ ਬਿਜਲੀ ਉਹਨੇ ਬਣਾਈ
Speaker for Bell's telephone made, but gave him the public recognition as an inventor that he needed. Now, you know, folks, he wasn't going to be able to use this tinfoil unless he left it on the phonograph, and then it might be effective for 3 or 4 times. He knew it had to be changed. However, he set it aside. In fact, he went back to it 10 years later because he wanted to get on with his electric light and power system. He and his team had been working on that, and he announced to the world that on New Year's Eve of 1879, that he was going to, or by that time, he was going to introduce an electric light and power system. And everyone was so skeptical. And so Edison knew he had to get going on that. He hadn't had all that much work done early in 1878. But he figured out a way to subdivide electricity so he could attach a motor to a sewing machine and a motor to a water pump that was outside of the building. He wired this building, the machine shop, and 4 residences, including Sarah Jordan's boarding house across the road, which is the only surviving original building among all of them. He wired these buildings, interconnected the wiring underground, and it was led over to the generators in the machine shop. And that's why it's called direct current. It went directly to the generators. Now you see the system over there. You saw the steam engine and the generators. Well, on the other side of the wall, next to the steam engine, is the biggest boiler I've ever seen. And that's where it all started. But by New Year's Eve of 1879, he moved some little clips that he had put on the generators to get the generators started. And the electric current flowed to all the lights, all these little filaments that he had set up. The sewing machine started working. The water pump started working. So people knew then that he wasn't a madman, but that he was a practical inventor and a visionary. You know, because of that power system, you can play those computer games. The same power system that made that light work makes your computers work. How about that? You know, but there were elevators at the time. A man named Otis invented the elevators, and they went 2 or 3 floors on steam. But after Edison...
Gardens. Hi. The wiring was on the outside walls for 2 reasons. One, Edison was in a hurry because he wanted all the buildings in Menlo Park to have electricity by December 31st, 1879. Because in October of that year, he made a declaration that he was going to have it, and he was determined to do it, so he was behind at the time. And also for safety. He didn't want there to be any problems because he wanted electricity to be the safest form of energy. So he put the wires on the outside, so if there wasn't any problems, his workers who would sit, in here and relax could find the problem and fix it, or just merely observe it. There weren't any light switches yet either. So if you look at these 2 holes that you see in the top, that's where the wires would go through those 2 plastic ports right there into this. There's gonna be a pole in the middle of the street, and all the buildings that had the wiring would go down into the pole, underground into the lab, and Edison controlled the flow.
It's like to look at all that.
Lucky color. Get the ice cream one. Ruby, get the ice cream one.
I'll have that.
You want ice cream? You want the ice cream? They have that crunchy chocolate.
I want crunchy chocolate. I want that.
ਚਲੋ ਵੀ
Play out there and color and everything. I'm stretching my legs. I love that. Rupa, I'm stretching my legs.
Oh, is that windmill the last one? Is the windmill the last one? Oh, that's the house is the last one? No, we have to go that time.
ਉਹ ਤਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ
ਹੈ
ਉਹੀ ਸੀ ਐਵੇਂ ਕੀ ਵੈਂਡ ਵੈਲ ਬਣਾਈ ਹੈ
Come here. Hey. Hey. We're over here. Come on. We're over here. Chorka.
I know.
Roti.
ਚਰਖਾ ਮੈਂ ਕਤਾ
ਓਏ ਆਪ ਜਲਦੀ ਰੋਟੀ ਪਕਾਈ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਤਵੇ ਤੇ ਤਵਾ ਆਪਣੇ ਵਰਗਾ
ਮੈਂ ਦਿਖਾਉਂਦੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਸਵਾਹ ਤੇ ਨਾ ਇਹ ਸਵਾਹ ਤੇ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਗੋਰਿਆਂ ਲਈ ਨਵੀਂ ਚੀਜ਼ ਆ ਬਾਈ
ਬਾਹਰ ਜੀਨ ਦਿਖਾ ਕੇ ਆਵਾਂਗੇ ਮੂੰਹ
And the spruce are carved out of bones?
Yes. And that's the other thing that you'd want to have heat and hot water or anything for a very long time because it will start getting real soft and lose its shape.
What era is this from?
This is from the
1700s?
1760s.
Oh, okay.
Anna and Samuel Daggett lived in this house with their 3 young children. We just finished our meal. It took us all morning to prepare. We get in here early before the village opens up and into yarn.
And they knit or they do weaving?
They would weave. We do have we had this little box loom over here that would be used for making things like belts and other things, and they would also be doing knitting.
Interesting, huh, girls? Yeah. Thank you very
You're
much.
welcome. Feel free to walk through our garden.
Okay.
If there's anything out there that you're curious about what it is, just you can come over the window if you can see me, or just send somebody back in and I will answer your questions for you. Or I'll come out if I'm not
Lots
sure
of
what you're
herbs
talking
and
about.
things, I'm sure,
Yes,
right?
a lot of herbs, and we do have vegetables planted now too.
Excellent. Yeah, they dry them and use them for something. Yeah, there's probably a lot of bees. They're not going to hurt you. They're way more interested in the flowers than you, Lily. Come on. Come on. Walk through. This way. They didn't raise this.
1 year.
ਦੱਸਿਆ ਨਾਲ DN
Hi.
Hello.
Come on in. I apologize, I'm running an hour too late. This is the home of Noah Webster and his wife Rebecca. It was actually a retirement home, but he never really retired. But they didn't move here until they were elderly. And this was actually like their family room. This is where they spent most of their time, did their music lessons. His wife did his sewing, art sewing. She was an accomplished seamstress and made as many as 20 quilts a year by hand. And that's what I said. And he would give them away to charities and people would be. That's quite.
ਬੇਵਸਟ ਡਿਕਸ਼ਨਰੀ ਬਣਾਉਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਦਾ ਘਰ ਹੈ
ਇੱਧਰ ਡਿਕਸ਼ਨਰੀਆਂ ਵੀ ਆ ਵੀ
ਡਿਕਸ਼ਨਰੀਆਂ ਬਣਾਉਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਦਾ ਘਰ
ਲੈ ਰੋਟੀ ਨੂੰ ਦੇ
Sai bade mein question puchu bacho.
In which he examined choice, individuality, and regret, symbolized by the decision between two paths in the woods. Frost reported this in 1956 at age 82 in Spanish.
Two roads diverged in the yellow wood. I'm sorry I could not travel both and be one traveler. Long I could look down one as far as I could, where it in the undergrowth. Then
Camera now! Don't run in the street. No. Stay with Mama.
Let's go. The music.
Oh, yes. They're doing the same story. They're really good.
It's already in.
Hey, what's the zip plug on to?
Have a door. Guitar. Ito petita na dyan lalaki na. Ano pa kaya ulit sige?
There's not.
ਦੇਖਣਾ ਪਈ
No, there's not a door.
ਇੱਧਰ ਨਾ ਬੈਠੋ ਐਵੇਂ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਪੁਰਾਣੇ
Ball.
Ay, ਮੁੰਡੇ ਤੂੰ ਡਿੱਗੇਗਾ.
You are.
Okay, you can put your topi ਕਰਨ.
ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ
ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਕੋਈ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਿੱਟੀ ਦੀ ਫਸਲਾਂ ਦੀ ਸੜੀ ਜੀ.
ਦੇ ਕੁਆਟਰਸ ਨੇ
ਕੀ ਵਿਚਾਰੇ ਸਲੇਬਾਂ ਦੇ ਦੇਖਣ ਸਲੇਬ ਦਾ ਕੁਆਟਰ ਦੇਖਣਾ ਬਾਈ
ਨਹੀਂ
Train, there's a train, the Amtrak.
This salty good.
ਅੱਜ ਮੇਰੇ ਦੇਖੀ ਦਾਗ ਡਾਰਕ ਹੋ ਜਾਣਗੇ
No popcorn. No popcorn at the birds.
Close भी बनाए
This way?
ट्रेन
Then. In the front it says then.
It's not